Hello everyone and welcome to another video of this amazing channel. I'm the Anime Sensei and today I'm here to talk about the 10 smartest anime characters. But before we start with the actual list, I have to ask something very important. I normally do this at the ending of the video, but I think I will start doing it at the beginning too. And that important thing is, I need you guys to subscribe to the channel. It's free, you have nothing to lose. And it's very easy, you just need to scroll a bit down and click on the subscribe button. And that's it. I can wait a bit. Are you subscribed now? Now we can start with the actual list. Of course, to start the list, I have to talk about Senku from Dr. Stone. He had a normal life when suddenly everyone turned into stone. And while he was petrified, he was keeping track of the time. He was all that time, 5,000 years, counting every second, every minute, just to keep track of the time he was currently in. If it was me, my mind would have wandered into something else. Now he's trying to recreate society how it was 5,000 years ago, and he knows everything that he has to do to make that happen, every procedure, what he needs to reinvent first. He has a plan and of course he needs help, he can't do it alone, but that's why there are native people, for slavery work. I'm just kidding. But he knows what he has to do to make the natives help him. Because of Dr. Stone, we actually learn a few things, because he needs to create a lot of stuff and he explains the procedure, every step from A to Z. So kids, watch Dr. Stone, you'll be able to make a cola at home. No, I'm just kidding, don't try it. But you can actually learn something, and Senku knows it all. Next is L from Death Note. And there's no doubt about it, he is one of the smartest characters in anime, and I'm going to say that he's the smartest character from Death Note. Right at the beginning, he is presented as the best detective there is, and without knowing anything about those mysterious deaths because of heart attacks, without knowing if there really was someone behind it or if it was a group or where the culprit was, he managed to corner Kira. He showed his face on TV and it was broadcast for the whole world, and Kira was ticked off because L was saying that he was going to catch Kira no matter what and stuff like that. So Kira wrote L's name on the Death Note, and the man that was on TV was a decoy, and just like that L discovers the country that Kira was in, because the transmission was only broadcast in a certain region in Japan. It was a genius move from L.
I had to test this just in case, but I never thought it would actually happen. Kira, it seems you can kill people without having to be there in person. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't just witnessed it. Listen to me, Kira. If you did indeed kill Lynd L. Taylor, the man who you just saw die on television, I should tell you that he was an inmate whose execution was scheduled for today. That was not me.
What? The next character on the list is Zora Ideal from Black Clover, and this guy is all about that street smart life. In a show where most people can just attack you with lightning, fire, or can just run you down, Zoro stands out for having a plan to every battle. His magic is ash magic, so unlike Smoker from One Piece, he has to create traps and he has to constantly think a few steps ahead of his opponent in order to stand any chance. We've seen him taking down a vice captain, so obviously the guy is not just for show. He really has a good head on his shoulders, because unlike Asta, he has to think and not just swing a sword around. The next character on the list, I have to say that if I needed a therapist, I wanted this guy. I'm talking about Memeoshino from Bakemonogatari. There are a lot of Monogatari characters that appear in my videos. Meme has that old sage wisdom vibe to him, you know? In a world that's riddled with oddities and the supernatural, Meme simply seems to know everything, and he can always help out Ararai. For a reasonable price, of course. And even outside of just that, he seems to know so much about life itself, with supreme judgment of character, and honestly pretty sound advice as to how to fix interpersonal issues. An example of that I actually talked about in my previous video is when he helped Senjogahara. She was extremely light because a god took her weight, and to help her he performed a ritual and he made some questions to Senjogahara, and what she needed to do was to talk about and accept what happened to her family, because for what I've understood, her weight was the same as her guilt. She felt guilty for what happened to her family. And now that I think about it, Meme may be a therapist after all. There are plenty of smart Naruto characters. They can plan things out 10 years in advance. But the one that deserves to be on the list with an IQ of 200 is our boy Shikamaru Nara. From his first fight with Temari, we saw the potential, and I'm not talking about the potential couple, I'm talking about his cleverness. Well, he wasn't very smart by marrying Temari, she beats the living hell out of him. But with that aside, Shikamaru has a natural ability to adapt to his environment, to outwit his opponent, and most importantly, to know when to give up. He even defeated a guy that supposedly was unbeatable. Poor Ida, we are in Boruto and he is still stuck on that hole. It's no surprise that Shikamaru was the only one to be bumped in the ranks, as well as becoming the Hokage's advisor a few years down the line.
俺の来切りで穴を開けた時、一緒にお前の血をいただいたのさ。そしてそれを受け取った俺があんたをはめる役。それがこっちの作戦だったの。
Next on the list is a duo, and this Brainiac duo has always a spot on any smartest characters list. I'm talking about Sora and Shiro from No Game No Life. They always have a calculated plan to ensure victory the second they start playing. And of course, you would expect them to win at like chess or something. But their knowledge is far greater than just that. On a battlefield, no problem. Oh, you have to learn an entire language. Just give me a day or two. What about leading an entire nation? Shouldn't be too much of an issue because they have a charisma level of 100 somehow. The next character is probably the most amazing on the list because he is still just a kid. I'm talking about Norman from The Promised Neverland. In this anime there are a lot of smart kids, but I'm going vanilla with Norman. Norman is 11 years old and he starts to make some plans, some small things. They need to escape from the orphanage because if they don't, aliens are going to eat them, so they start to pretend that they don't know anything, even if Isabella knows that they are pretending. Then he tries to discover who the traitor is. He gets some information from Sister Crone, and Ray, who thought was outsmarting Norman, was actually being outsmarted by him. And there's a big mental game between the two. And that's why I said that Norman is probably the most amazing character on this list, because he's just a kid and he was having a mental game with another kid. For this character I have to make an exception. This character is definitely a bit out there, as her love for gambling surpasses any drug addiction I have ever seen. She even surpasses my addiction to hentai. I'm just kidding, I don't like hentai. I don't even know what that is, never heard about it. I'm talking about Yumeko Jabami from Kakegurui, and she's quite brilliant. In earnest, sometimes it really does seem like she's just throwing it all out there with no plan, just for the rush. But most of the time, she can pinpoint exactly what her opponent's strategy is and how to beat it. I mean, it's not everyone that can come up with a dirty step process to reach a certain conclusion. Another returning character from a previous video is Sosuke Aizen from Bleach. And like I said before, Aizen is very smart. He was plotting a plan for years on everyone's back and no one was suspicious of him. He made experiments turning Shinigamis into hollows and stuff like that, and no one knew about that. He destroyed the lives of many people and he got away with it by blaming someone else. He even made everyone believe that he died. To be a strategist like Aizen, you have to be very smart.
very smart indeed. During several years, he made plans so that in the future he could achieve his true goal, and he managed to achieve his goal. But he wasn't counting with Ichigo, aka the protagonist. You can become a perfect being, but the protagonist surpasses perfection. I saved the man, the myth, the legend for last. The last character on the list is Lelouch from Code Geass. For Lelouch there isn't much to say, he's just amazing. Just like Aizen, to be a strategist like Lelouch, you have to be very smart. Overturning an entire country is definitely not something anyone could do. Okay, he had the power of the Geass, but he had to use it wisely, as he could only make one command to a single person. So, Lelouch was honestly playing 3D chess while his opponents were playing checkers, as this man planned a few dozen steps in advance just to have the upper hand. So, as a leader and tactician, Lelouch is definitely top tier, and it's all thanks to his Geass and his superb intellect.
To trust you, I must know who you are. Therefore, you will show me your face.
Huh? A woman?
It can't be.
It's not! This isn't Zero. I saw her before. She was with Zero after Narita.
You're soft, and your methods and thinking are outdated. That is why you'll never win!
And that's all for today's video, guys. I know that for some characters I said a lot of stuff, for others I said almost nothing, but I was a bit lazy to do this video, and with college work it's a bit hard. But I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. If you did, smash that like button, leave a comment giving suggestions for a next video, share this video with a friend, why not, so more people can watch my videos, and the most important thing of them all, subscribe to the channel, guys. Again, like I said at the beginning, it's free, you just have to click on the subscribe button, and that's it. So, I hope to see you guys next time, keep watching anime, and goodbye!